Let's bring you a quick update on the aftermath of the recent flooding in the country. In Delta State, the Nigerian Red Cross Society has flagged off the distribution of food items and other relief materials to 1,350 households in 3 worst-hit council areas by the recent flood disaster. Ikenna Amechi reports.
President of the Nigerian Red Cross Society had paid a courtesy call to the secretary to the Delta State government to inform him of their intention to reach out to flood victims in the state.
So I think with this that you're doing and the efforts that the government of Delta has also put in, and some private individuals and corporate organizations, we know that we cannot return them to the original position they were before, but at least the response from groups like you and from government, we can see that they are happy.
The NGO distributed the food items to the affected victims in the Vrobo community.
Our service to humanity has to do with meeting the needs of the vulnerable. Those who have been affected by disasters, health emergencies, displacements, we are there to give them the support and to restore their dignity. So when the flood came up this year, we got into the field to determine the worst hit communities and the worst affected people. That's what informed this donation. We carried out an appeal. What we have received, procured this, and we have brought to the people.
Over time, as they just came back, agitation is still there. So receiving this at this time, when they have just come from the different camps, is gone. The flood is also gone back. They will be very happy and excited about it.
TVC News crew followed one of the beneficiaries to their home. A family of 3 siblings who are orphans. The eldest, a 12-year-old girl, is now the breadwinner, fending for the family.
Malanya me job ma job masugo me zo no vive mi na malaria ora si okumia ko maugo mais tebe malaria ora sa ivlo ba ja ko maire e fa so na ko mane vaya me gaga na ko maore.
The distribution of items continues in Ndokwa East and Ugele South local government areas as the Nigerian Red Cross Society seeks more funds to reach out to other victims across the country. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Isoko, Delta State.
The original inhabitants of the nation's capital are demanding the creation of a development commission to address perceived policy inconsistencies. They made this known at the public presentation of a charter of demands they hope to engage office seekers with ahead the 2023 general election. And senior correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
A cardinal pronouncement of the General Muritala Mohammed's takeover of government in July 1975 was the relocation of the nation's capital from Lagos to a more centralized location. A decree promulgated on the 4th of February 1976 legally gave birth to the FCT as a no-man's land and the nation's seat of power. This development marked a new twist for the original inhabitants of the FCT, as ownership of land was vested solely in the federal government. Since then, allegations of marginalization and non-inclusion in governance have been the lot of the FCT indigents. To chart a way forward, especially as candidates jostle for citizens' votes ahead of the forthcoming elections, the people of the FCT have now come up with a charter of demands they say, if implemented, will reverse their ordeal. One of such demands is the creation of a development commission.
And our support to any candidate or party at the poll will be largely dependent on the commitment they show towards implementing the recommendation contained in our Charter of Demand.
With the support of a number of civil society groups, they are making clear-cut demands from the presidential candidates and others about key issues on infrastructure, such as health facilities and schools.
Who have given us the space to unite us are suffering untold neglect. And that is a very clear point that we believe that the presidential candidates would take into cognizance. And so the original inhabitants in the hundreds of communities of the FCT are not in a position to sell their votes.
We need an original inhabitants development commission. And that is something that a legislator can push either at the floor of the Senate or at the floor of the House of Representatives to say, let us have this commission, and then begin to lobby his other lawmakers.
Among their demands is proposed alteration to the 1999 Constitution as amended to create 3 senatorial seats for the FCT instead of 1, appointment of an indigene of FCT as minister, and the creation of at least 6 federal constituencies for the House of Representatives. Joke Edsa, TVC News, Abuja.
And now to gender matters. There is need for an urgent move to nip violence against girl child in the board and empower them to utilize their potentials for national development. This came to the fore at the opening of the 2022 edition of Adolescent Boot Camp held in Ede, Osun State. Rafiu Hamid reports, and after this report, Kelly Egiga is standing by to bring you updates in business. Stay with us.
It's the opening of a 3-day annual Adolescent Boot Camp with the theme, Girls, Unstoppable Champions for Equality, with 250 participants. The participants are girls of age 13 to 20 and are drawn from Oyo, Ekiti, Kwara, and Osun states. They are here to be enlightened on the need to speak up and resist any form of abuse. Costly Adribisaba is the executive director of Value Female Network. She speaks on the motive behind the program.
The Adolescent Boot Camp is a 3-day camp for adolescent girls that bring girls together, vulnerable girls from hard-to-reach areas, communities, together under a controlled environment, free of all distractions, to empower them with information on their body, sexual and reproductive health, also equip them with life skills to be able to compete anywhere in the world, to be able to contribute meaningfully to their society.
She also wants a permanent stop to female genital mutilation. Representative of the Osun State Ministry of Education, Olufunke Jolayemi, wants parents to give more attention to their girls in a bid to subdue the effects of peer influence.
Parents have a lot to play, likewise the governments. You know, the duty of parents is to take care of their children, to give them attention, to be listening to them. You know, there are a lot of parents that don't have time for their children.
We need to quickly begin to look at how to support adolescent girls and young people to be champions, to be advocates. We need to support them to access education, not just education, but the quality and the right type of education. We need to teach sexual and reproductive health and rights information in school. We need to incorporate comprehensive sexuality education into school curriculum.
Actually, and I like that I'm being invited. It is an opportunity to be opened out, like
female genital mutilation. That we must put a stop to this. They also taught us on human rights, that we have our rights as a girl.
The boot camp also addressed the menace of child marriage, sexual and gender-based violence, female genital mutilation, and other harmful practices. The event, which ends on Thursday, will feature different competitions among the participants. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Ede, Osun State.